And now, ladies and gentlemen, from the heart of the Inland Empire, right here in sunny Southern California, it's Robert Cardoza Live, where we talk about politics, money, and you. This is the intersection of business and politics. And now here's your host, Robert Cardoza. Okay. Now, look, it looks like I had my microphone turned off. I don't know what the heck was going on. Nobody was listening to me. And so I'm going to give you that conversation. I'm going to give you the whole opening all over again. I want to welcome you aboard, and I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to the intersection of business and politics right here on Robert Cardoza Live, where I do an honest, unbiased analysis of the issues confronting you today that affect the decisions that you make for both your personal and your business life. I come to you every Monday through Friday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. p.m. Pacific Time on Spreaker Radio, Blog Talk Radio, MyCast Live Radio, and countless terrestrial stations worldwide. I also broadcast on Roar 1776 Radio and on 365 Live Radio every Friday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific Time. Please follow me on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google+, and YouTube, where you can listen to all of my shows 24/7. Go to my website at www.robertcardozalive.com for archives of all my radio and television shows. You can also access my show live right from my website each day simply by clicking on that icon labeled Listen Live. Email me at robertcardozalive@gmail.com. You can call into my show if you want to just comment and or engage me in conversation about anything. Call directly into the studio at 909-545-6516. On today's show, we're discussing what's in the news, new legislation, the IRS loses, and I'm going to answer your emails just like I always do. Today, my expert contributor is Ray Mailer with this series, The American Grid, and he's going to be reporting from San Diego, California, where he's at a convention where they're talking about high-speed rail and many other things with his colleagues from around the world. My special guest today is Joel Saltzman, Dr. Wireless. He's going to be talking about new wireless technology, and hopefully you're going to find that of tremendous interest. I know I do. And right now, let's talk about what's in the news. And you know what? Right off the top, came in today, a worker discussed having inmates kill her husband. Yeah, you know it. You're already familiar with it. A woman charged with helping two convicted murderers escape from a maximum security facility where she worked had discussed having them kill her husband. A district attorney confirmed that today. Clinton County District Attorney Andrew Wiley said at a news conference that Joyce Mitchell had talked to inmates Richard Matt and David Sweat about killing her husband. Lyle, who also works at the Clinton Correctional Facility in Dannemora near the Canadian border. Sweat and Matt escaped from the 170-year-old prison on June the 6th and remain on the lam. Joyce Mitchell, a prison tailoring shop instructor who befriended the inmates, was arrested on June the 12th. Lyle Mitchell arrived at the state police barracks in Malone with his attorney late today, or actually I should have said this morning, to talk to authorities, the Press Republican of Pittsburgh reported. Now, investigators have no information that Lyle Mitchell knew about the escape plan or assisted in it, Weil said. You know what? And that just keeps going. Can you imagine? 2 weeks has gone by and they haven't got these guys yet? So what are the chances? They got almost 1,000 police officers out there looking for him, and they haven't caught him yet. I just think that's absolutely amazing. Now, do not go away, because when we come back from these brief messages, we're going to talk about Dolezal was asked if she tried to mislead Howard University. You know who Dolezal is? I think you know who she is. She's that gal that I think just wants to be black. I'll tell you all about it right after these brief messages. Don't go away. If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. You know, nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, you know Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchased high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you. And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. And you know what? We were talking news. We're going to continue talking about the news right now. Dolezal was asked if she tried to mislead Howard University. You know who she is, right? Rachel Dolezal faced tough questions about her racial identity long before her career as a civil rights advocate and expert on African American culture was derailed by this week's revelations that she grew up Caucasian. More than a decade ago, Howard University's lawyers questioned whether she had tried to pose as African American when she applied for admission to the historically black college in the nation's capital. Dolezal had accused the university of denying her a teaching position because she was white. During a deposition, Howard's lawyers asked whether she had tried to mislead the admissions office with an essay focused on black history and identity, according to court documents that were reviewed by the Associated Press. I plunged into black history and novels feeling the relieving release of understanding and common ground, she wrote in an essay. My struggles paled as I read of the atrocities so many ancestors faced in America. Dolezal resigned her NAACP post this week after her parents accused her of posing as black despite her Czech, German, and Swedish ancestry. She now faces a swirl of criticism about other statements that she's made. Today, an independent investigation by the city of Spokane concluded that she acted improperly and violated government rules while leading the city's Volunteer Police Oversight Commission. The report found that Dolezal violated the city's workplace harassment policy when she engaged in conduct that humiliated, insulted, or degraded a city worker, abused her authority, and showed bias against police by participating publicly and vocally in protests of recent officer-involved shootings. Well, you know what? And that, you can bet we haven't heard the end of that, right? You know that we haven't heard the end of that. You know, I guess I don't understand it. You know, I can understand her having the feeling that she wants to be a part of what's going on in the black community. She feels some kind of an akin to it. But to lie is really not the right thing for her to be doing. What she ought to be doing is telling the truth. And by doing that, people would respect her position. It's not that she wants to be black. She respects the black, and I think she's going about it the wrong way. You have to ask yourself, what the heck kind of college education did she really get? Well, here's one. Iraq training goal to fall way short of recruits. The U.S. is going to fall way short of meeting its goal of training 24,000 Iraqi forces to fight Islamic State militants by this fall. Defense Secretary Ash Carter said today on Capitol Hill, where lawmakers are already skeptical of the Obama administration's strategy to address threats in the Mideast. Carter told the House Armed Services Committee that the United States has received only enough recruits to train about 7,000, in addition to about 2,000 counterterrorism service personnel. Our training efforts in Iraq have thus far been slowed by a lack of trainees. We simply haven't received enough recruits, Carter said at a nearly 3-hour hearing. Carter said the train and equipment mission in Syria also lacks enough trainees to fill existing trainee sites, primarily because it's difficult to make sure the recruits are people who can be counted on and not aligned with groups like the Islamic State. Go figure. How do you know that they're not? How do you know that they are? You don't know anything. So far, everything we've decided to do there has been a disappointment. Well, here's one for you. Just in today, AT&T hit with a $100 million fine. The company vows to fight this thing. AT&T Mobility, LLC, has been slapped with a record $100 million fine for offering consumers unlimited data, but then slowing their internet speeds after they reached a certain amount. The company says it will fight the charges. And I know we're going to hear about this later from our own Dr. Wireless, Joel Saltzman. The Federal Communications Commission said today that the company misled consumers into buying plans they believed would give them unlimited ability to send and receive data, including web browsing, GPS navigation, and streaming videos. But once the consumer hit a certain level, the data on unlimited plans would be slowed down significantly at speeds lower than advertised, the FCC said. AT&T said it would vigorously dispute the fine, which was the largest proposed FCC history. If AT&T can provide evidence that the FCC allegations are wrong, the fine could be reduced. Otherwise, if AT&T refuses to pay, it's possible the two sides will wind up in court. It's not possible. It's probable. The FCC has specifically identified this practice as a legitimate and reasonable way to manage network resources for the benefit of all customers, and has known for years that all of the major carriers use it. The company said in a statement released to reporters, we have been fully transparent with our customers, providing notice in multiple ways and going well beyond the FCC's disclosure requirements. Yeah, and I got a bridge to sell you. You know, it used to be in London, now it's in Arizona. Go figure, right? Leave it to, I've actually known for a long time, and I'm not accusing anybody of anything, but I do know that it's an absolute fact that phone companies always pad your bills. They're not going to lose money. If they get somebody who complains and said, hey, that wasn't my call, they take it off the bill and they put it on somebody else's bill who they're hoping is never going to see it. And that's exactly what's going on here as well. Just know that's how things run. All right, in today, a runaway tiger kills a man in Tbilisi after flood damages the zoo. I gotta tell you, these things just keep going on and on and on, and you got to ask yourself, what on earth is happening around here? A tiger that broke loose after severe flooding at a Tbilisi zoo mauled a man to death in the Georgian capital before being shot by police today, a day after officials said all the zoo's tigers had died. Zoo director Zarub Girorildes acknowledged he was to blame for releasing faulty information and said new counts indicated a tiger cub and a hyena could still be on the loose. The city has remained on edge, with runaway predators reportedly seen by some residents. The Interior Ministry in the former Soviet Republic said the tiger was hiding at an abandoned factory that had been turned into a construction market when he attacked the man today. The victim, who worked at the market, later died of his wounds at a hospital. Well, I guess, you know what? Mauled by a tiger? Don't have much chance, do you? Hey, listen, don't go away. When we come back, we're going to talk about the IRS losers. I'll tell you all about it, so don't go away. We'll be right back. Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful and visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make the interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios, Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39, a complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show.
The story you are about to see is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Oh, yeah, here we are, my favorite part of the show, the IRS loses. And you know what? This just sends chills up and down my spine every time I think about it. And I hope it does yours, too. I hope you enjoy this segment as much as I do. Let's get right to it and not waste any more time. First up, the IRS loses. Never profitable business did have a profit motive. Let me tell you about it. A corporate executive whose family loved horses bought a farm and used it to run a business boarding horses. But it lost money for 8 years, ranging from $36,000 to $94,000 annually over that time, until it decided to sell the farm. He deducted all the losses against his regular income, but the IRS disallowed the deduction, saying he never had a profit motive in running the farm. So he went to court. This is what the judge said. The executive actually did board horses at commercial rates, hired employees to tend the horses, worked every weekend on the farm himself, and kept full business records and had a creditable business plan. This all indicated that he did indeed have a profit motive. So the deductions are absolutely allowed. And you know what? Here's another one for you. A company's houseboat and dock are not taxed to its owners. Let me tell you about it. David Reeves owned VMI Incorporated, a small operating business that he bought a house on a lake and then behind it built a houseboat, floating garage to hold a boat and jet skis and dock. He paid $81,000 of the cost. VMI paid $187,000, and they were co-owners. VMI used the houseboat facilities for business meetings, but failed to keep records of the business use, so it lost its deductions for him. The IRS then treated VMI's share of the cost of the facilities as taxable dividends to Reeves. He went to court. This is what the judge said. Reeves' payment of $81,000 entitled him to use the facilities, and the IRS hadn't shown that he had done so excessively. So the dividends were absolutely allowed, and that's the way you want to have those things be. How about this case? The IRS loses. Disability insurance benefits are tax-free. You know what? The IRS argues about these things all the time, and they know better. Let me tell you about this one. Richard Kotler owned his own business, which had a group disability insurance policy that covered him. He later became disabled, closed his firm, and filed for disability. He said that the disability payments were tax-free, but the IRS said that they were taxable to him because his firm had paid the premiums for him. He hadn't paid them personally. He went to court. This is what the judge said. To keep the firm from improperly paying his personal expenses, Kotler had annually reimbursed the company for all personal items that it had paid on his behalf by deducting the amount of the expenses from other amounts the firm actually owed him. He included the premiums in these items, so he had in fact paid them himself, making those benefits absolutely tax-free. And you got to know, that is the way it's supposed to be. And now we're at the inside the IRS. I like to call it that way. Basically, these are the things that the IRS doesn't want you to know that absolutely take place. It's things that you can use against them because they've set a precedence going on here. And here's let's start off with that. We only got time for probably one of these. Can you claim additional damages to compensate for the income taxes that you're required to pay on a damage award that you receive? What do you think? Here's the scenario. Suppose you sue for damages for lost profits. Say you worked overtime and were not paid for the extra hours, and you win. The lost profits award is taxable, so you argue that you should also receive enough to cover the tax hit. The losing party was going to argue that you would have had to pay income tax on those profits anyway, so you're not entitled to the extra damages. There's no easy answers here. This is an emerging area in civil law. Now, state law varies, and the nature of the damages will control whether you are permitted to ask for extra tax damages. Best advice we can give you? Discuss this issue with your attorney before initiating any kind of a lawsuit. You want to make sure that you've got this thing covered and you're talking to a licensed professional. That's the best thing that you can do. That's always the best thing that you can do. Just know that that's just the way it's going to be, the way it's going to have to be. Now, let me give you one more. Let's just say that you're audited and the IRS wants to reopen your case. You ever think about that? Boy, what a mess that would be, right? How about this? Only in very unusual circumstances will the IRS attempt to re-audit an individual or a business after the case has been closed. Now, to reopen a closed case, the IRS must show that there was a fraud or malfeasance, concealment or misrepresentation of a material fact on your part, or an important mistake in mathematical calculations. How should you proceed if the IRS wants to reopen your case? Don't agree to submit to another audit until the IRS proves that you, with a copy of its proof, or provides you with a copy of its proof that there was fraud, concealment, and all the rest of that stuff. Now, be careful. This is a situation that could lead to criminal charges, so be certain that you retain an experienced attorney to represent you, even if your accountant handled that first audit. Do not take a chance that this is going to go in the wrong direction. Boy, I want to tell you, just no way do you want that to happen. Now, do not go away. When we come back, we're going to be with our own Dr. Wireless, Joel Salzman, and he's got some. I'll be shocked if he doesn't talk about AT&T today. There's a lot of interesting stuff there. So we'll be right back. Don't go away. If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this. The Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. You know, nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, you know Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchased high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you. And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 4:32 p.m. Pacific time. It's currently 94 degrees. That's down from 96 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. Well, you know, I want to make an announcement. I want to tell you that we're very excited and proud here at Robert Cardoza Live to announce that our show is currently available live 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, on the following radio networks: Spreaker Radio, Blog Talk Radio, MyCast Live Radio, and countless terrestrial stations worldwide. Our show can be heard live on Fridays on the Roar 1776 and 365 Live radio networks from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific time, and an archive show on Saturday mornings from 4 a.m. to 6 a.m. Pacific time on those two stations. You can also catch our show on Friday and Saturday on iHeartRadio and TiVo, if you got that box on TV. All of our shows are broadcast on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google+, and YouTube, and you can also download our shows from the iTunes Store free of charge. We encourage you to follow us on all of these social networks. We're currently developing 2 Robert Cardoza Live apps that you'll be able to download free of charge for iPhones and Android. This app will allow you to listen to any of our shows, either live or recorded, 24/7, worldwide, right from your computer, phone, tablet, or iPad. The easiest way to listen to our shows is to go to our website at robertcardozalive.com. And you know what? We've got him. He's waiting in the wings, our own Dr. Wireless, Joel Saltzman. Let's get him in here. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And welcome aboard. Hey, listen, you know what, Joel, I am just so excited having you here. You know, I thought I was going to play your introduction. I wound up playing your commercial instead. I don't know what the heck's going on, other than this is my first day with the new syndicated equipment and everything, and so I seem to be pushing all the wrong buttons today. But I'm glad to have you here with us anyway.
Nice to be here, and it sounds like you're really expanding your horizons.
Yeah, things are moving along. We've got more exciting things coming up in the near future, and so I'm really, really excited. And so, and I haven't talked to you for a while. For one reason or another, it's either been equipment problems, or it's been expansion problems, or it's been celebrations of one kind or another. We haven't talked live in a long time.
Well, it has been a while, and there's been no shortage of stuff going on, as you can probably tell.
Well, there is one thing.
You're expecting me to talk about AT&T today.
I would be surprised if AT&T wasn't just foremost on your list.
Well, I could talk about the $25 million they were fined last month because of their call center employees stole data. I could talk about the $6.9 million they were fined for overbilling the FCC on their Lifeline program for low-income users, but I think you want to hear about the $100 million they got fined today.
Absolutely.
Well, I wish I was an attorney for AT&T. Is all I can say.
Oh, to get that. Well, I wish I was an attorney. I wish I was an attorney for the other side, and an independent attorney where you get a third of this thing. They get $33 million of that fine. The thing that's interesting is you actually, Joel, addressed this a long time ago, and you talked about it being a common practice, and they just got caught with their hands in the cookie jar, right?
I've been addressing this for years, and I just don't understand the American public. Granted, it is true that there's maybe 2%, somewhere they say 2%, I say under 5% of all users actually hit these levels. When you're doing email, you can send 1 million emails if you're not sending high-res or doing video, and you'll never hit 5 gigabytes. But the issue is these days the carriers are encouraging us. They're offering free, 2 months if you sign up for Netflix. They want you to stream if they offer these data plans with overage charges. They don't want you to stream if you're on an unlimited data plan. So you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. But the bottom line with these guys is, it's one thing to do what T-Mobile does. And T-Mobile has plans that are unlimited, and they have plans that they, disclose are throttled at a certain point where they'll slow you down at 1 gig, at 3 gigs, at 5 gigs. But they tell you this going into it. And what AT&T's in trouble for is they didn't really tell anybody about this. They changed their policy in 2011, and traditionally you grandfather people that are signed up before, that are under contract. You don't change their plan. And AT&T did throttle people, and thousands of people complained. And apparently, 12 days into their billing cycles, they noticed their speeds were slowed down to 2G. So you can't do that.
So let me ask you. Let me ask you this, Joel, because I'm still a real neophyte when it comes to some of this stuff. And and right now, do we have 4G? We have 4G, and we're waiting for 5G. Is that what's going on?
Well, funny you should mention that, because it was just announced that 2G will be going away in 2017. And 2G is Edge, it's GSM, it's that one format, the one platform that is totally global at this point, and it's that platform that T-Mobile and now Sprint are offering to offer free global roaming overseas.
Now,
so that's going away. So it'll be 3G and 4G, and I suspect 5G will be coming along soon.
Is 2G half as fast and efficient as 4G? I don't understand.
No, it's a tenth, a 20th. It's 2G won't handle email.
Oh.
2G will allow you to, post Facebook, browse Facebook. You're not going to be able to do voice over IP. You're not going to be able to stream video. Give you an example. I was in the doctor's office for a physical yesterday, about 4:30, and obviously, you wait until it's your turn. And it just so happened that I had my iPhone 6. I've got my T-Mobile unlimited data plan with 4G. And it happened to be that the World Surfing League was simulcasting, live streaming, the Fiji Open pro surfing event, which happened to be maybe the best surf conditions ever. It was unbelievable. So I'm watching this in the waiting room for about 20 minutes. It was actually the fastest I've ever been called at a doctor's office, and I was really kind of hoping if there was somebody behind me, I would have let him go in front of me. But the point being, you can. It was like I was watching TV on my phone. It was, I'm watching the most amazing waves, and I watched for 20 minutes and had to turn it off because I went in.
Wow!
So these are the things you can do that are going to use a lot of data. I was going to talk about some of the apps that use heavier data for those folks that haven't figured this out, and got unlimited data plans.
Well, let's save that for when we come back from commercial. We have to go on a commercial break right now. We're going to be back very, very shortly with our own Dr. Wireless, Joel Saltzman. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful in visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make The Interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios, Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39, a complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show. And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. Well, you heard it here. You heard it from our own Dr. Wireless. AT&T is getting fined $100 million. Couldn't happen to a greater company. Joel, you've got the microphone.
Well, that may not be all. There's also a simultaneous lawsuit from the Federal Trade Commission over the same issue, which they haven't dealt with yet. So we'll have to see what happens there.
Well, so now with the Federal Trade Commission, the FCC deals with the licensing for them offering these services, and then the Federal Trade Commission is because of their I was going to say restraint of trade. That's really not what that is, but not providing what they're offering, what they're actually offering, right?
Well, it's interesting. This whole argument is kind of strange because AT&T is saying that they're going to, vociferously, dispute this whole thing, and it really doesn't make a lot of sense to me because, they're arguing that the commission has identified the practice of throttling as a legitimate and reasonable way to manage network resources, and the funny thing is, they're ignoring the issue. And the issue, the FCC is saying...
Hey, Joel, if you're out there, we lost you. Can you give us a call back? Hey, Joel, you with us? You know what? I think we have Ray Mailer with us. I think he's sitting there on the line here. Are you there, Ray? Is anybody there? Well, it looks like I'm here. I'm not sure what's going on. We're going to see what the heck is going on here. Somebody will wind up calling us back in a little bit. God only knows who or when. But we'll see what the heck is happening here. You know what? Unfortunately, what we have going on is that we have all brand new equipment here at Robert Cardoza Live, and we're broadcasting live out to all these people. And I think it's unfortunate that my guess is Dr. Wireless is still talking in the background and doesn't realize that he's not on the air. And we have actually had to. I actually hung up on him because another guest called in, and I didn't know how to answer that thing without it hanging up on somebody else. So I'm not sure what the heck was going on there. But you know what? It's going to be a learning process for all of us, and that seems to be what's going on here. And we're going to be hoping that they call back or somebody calls back to get us taken care of here on the air in any event. So, one of the things that I was really excited about is in this expansion is that we're going to be actually broadcasting or are actually broadcasting to so many different areas now, so I'm not exactly sure what is going on. And so I do know that Joel will be calling us back in just a second, and I'm going to apologize to him. I'm going to have to. It's ironic. He is the guy that's the tech guy. He knows everything that's going on when it comes to the tech world. And now I think he's back with us. Joel, are you back with us?
I am back. Don't know what happened there.
Oh, I do. It was me. I have to apologize to you. I'm gonna blow right past our next commercial segment because actually what happened is another guest was calling in, and it's supposed to answer automatically, but I don't know what the heck was going on there. I think when it answered it cut you off. So hopefully that'll be resolved, or I'll find some resolution to it anyway.
Anyhow, well, that would answer that. I'm not sure where I lost it, but I was going to talk about some of the applications that do use heavy data.
And that's where we need to start.
Okay. Well, obviously, streaming video is probably about the most data-using application you can do. And a lot of people tell me, well, why would I stream data on my phone? Well, if you can do it for free and you've never tried it, you should, because it's amazing. As I mentioned, I was in the doctor's office, and it beat the heck out of reading People magazine and all that other, paparazzi stuff. So it's amazing. It's like watching TV on your device, and if you've got a hotspot, as I do, had I had my tablet with me, I could have watched this on my bigger tablet using my iPhone as a hotspot. So there's a lot of reasons you may want to do this. Lots of people use FaceTime. I have my family living in Florida, and it's wonderful to be able to see my family when I'm talking to them, and it's totally free, and it's the most underused application on your iPhone. Do you ever use FaceTime?
Oh, all the time.
Okay, you're one of the few. Very few people use it, and maybe they get scared away because they're with Verizon or AT&T on a fixed data plan. I don't know. Netflix is wonderful. I have it. Amazon Prime is fantastic. Hulu. I have Amazon Prime. I got it really just for the shipping purposes of next-day shipping, which has become same-day shipping in many cases. But a lot of people don't know. They give you thousands of free movies, hundreds of thousands of free songs, and it's a great source for streaming music and streaming video.
I got to tell you, Joel. I have all the movies and all the things on. I actually have Charter cable. And I've got the whole 9 yards, the whole thing. In addition to that, I've got Netflix, right? The problem is, I've seen every movie there is to see out there, and I have my own music library. I'm paying for this thing just to have access to it that I don't use.
Well, you know what? I don't have all that cable stuff. I mean, I don't have HBO or Showtime or any of that other stuff. So I don't go to the movies often. So I find that everything I can find on Netflix and Amazon is new to me, even though it's been out for a while. And I'll watch old movies. I watched The French Connection for probably the third time in about 20 years the other night. So, but again, a lot of people aren't going to watch movies on their phone, and I get that. A lot of people are going to use their devices for internet gaming. That's a hot thing these days. A lot of the kids like to compete against their friends and other people on the internet, and it's a lot of fun, but it does use a lot of data. Obviously, YouTube is popular, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all the social medias. All these phones have amazing HD cameras that allow you to record HD and to not just pictures, but video. And I've got to start being. And I've got to start being that stuff. What are you going to do?
And I got to start being kind to these people, Joel, because all of a sudden now, this show is being broadcast and is available on all of those social medias.
Absolutely, and that's a wonderful thing.
Oh yeah, it is. I think it is too. But had it not been the case, I might have had other words to say.
I'm sure. But anyhow, we've got GPS, which is big, and that certainly, not only does that use a lot of data, but that uses a lot of battery. So I always try to have my device plugged in when I'm in the car if I'm using, my actual handheld device.
Well, let me ask you this, because I've actually tried to plug my iPhone in and charge it while I was in my car, and but it does something to it. It kind of jumbles it all up.
That's odd. You should be able to charge it.
Well, I mean, I can charge it, but I can't. But the GPS doesn't seem to work properly, which is I don't really care because I've got GPS in the car anyway.
Yeah, I do too, and it's amazing. How these cars are connected now to the internet. It's a lot of cars like the Teslas we're talking about. Have apps that you can start the car, you can turn the air conditioner on, you can do all kinds of stuff remotely from your iPhone or Android. We're talking about the Internet of Things, which is coming, and that's another reason people are going to want to have unlimited data. I don't know if you noticed this, but I was just shopping for appliances, and it seems like Samsung and LG, two Korean companies that have been around for a long time, are now dominating appliances, refrigerators, washers, dryers. They've had the TVs and the electronics, and it's only a matter of time when your refrigerator starts warning you when you get down to 2 eggs that it's time, sends you a message to your cell phone, saying pick up eggs at the market. Your barbecue, when it runs out of gas, is going to be telling you, sending you a message, machine to machine, dude, get some fluid here if you're going to have a barbecue this weekend. So appliances are going to be talking to your device, and there's going to be a lot of reasons. If I had a baby, I'd have one of these cameras in my home, and there's many apps where you can remotely turn on a camera. You want to check on your kid remotely, or the babysitter for that matter. You can remotely turn on a camera, stream it, and watch it like watch your kid like you're watching TV. If you have an unlimited data plan, there's no limitations. Speeds these days, I get 48 megabits per second, which is fast. It's like watching TV.
Yeah.
So speed is no longer an issue. And that's why your carrier, if it isn't T-Mobile, and in some cases Sprint, wants you on a plan that is metered. So once you use your 3 or 5 megabits per month, or gigabytes, I should say, per month, they're going to charge you above and beyond. And this is good for shareholders. It's not good for subscribers. No reason to be put in that situation. Use your device with reckless abandon and no surprises at the end of the month. That's what we're all about here.
Oh, yeah, but you know what? But it seems like every week when you and I get together, there's always a new surprise that's taking place.
There is, and that's what it amazes me that maybe 70-80% of all cellular users in the United States are with those two big carriers. And those are the two big carriers that seem to, have the surprises. So.
Yep. So
I don't know.
Now, who's actually driving the industry today? Because you used to think it was T-Mobile, right?
It still is T-Mobile. It's clearly T-Mobile. Let me give you another example of why it's T-Mobile. Mm-hmm. And I've said this all along, and my blog will attest to this. I said that contracts are going, and that T-Mobile 2 years ago eliminated their contracts, and that these other carriers cannot afford to continue to offer contracts. Sprint is still offering contracts. All the carriers now are offering finance, zero-interest financing. All of the carriers I predicted were going to terminate contracts, totally stop offering them. AT&T just did. No more AT&T contracts as of last week. So now, so this is the point I'm making. T-Mobile 2 years ago stopped, with the contracts. AT&T just followed suit. Sprint followed suit. T-Mobile started the data stash, which is data rollover. Mm-hmm. AT&T just started in the last month or so the same thing. So it's clear, which carriers. T-Mobile started the zero-interest financing model. They're all doing it now. T-Mobile started the Wi-Fi dialing. AT&T and Verizon still won't touch that, but Sprint's doing it now. The other carriers eventually will have to do it.
Is it the future?
T-Mobile introduced a global roaming on 2G for free. Sprint just did it. So we can see who's driving the market. Obviously, the big carriers don't want to offer unlimited data. But it seems to me that T-Mobile's driving the bus right now, and the other carriers, if they don't get on board, they're going to get passed behind.
Yeah, yeah. Now, and it seems like like that is the future. That they're gonna have to come up with something that's going to be standardized that is going to allow us not to have to be looking at our wallet every time we pick up our phone. And the Wi-Fi seems like the Wi-Fi calling seems to me like that is going to be the future for wireless. Don't you think?
Absolutely. And this is the other reason why I think the handwriting is on the wall for the major carriers. And I actually, told one of the carrier representatives that you might want to find a new livelihood because the activation business is going away. And the reason it's going away is because Google, as we mentioned, signed a contract with both Sprint and T-Mobile, and they're going to be resellers of Google. So you're going to be able to buy devices that support both, Google's Wi-Fi and T-Mobile and Sprint. And it's a fraction of what AT&T and Verizon's going to offer. So you're basically getting two carriers plus Google's Wi-Fi for a fraction of the cost of traditional wireless. So, the time isn't here yet. It's not ready yet. It's available today, but it's not ready for prime time. But it's close enough where these big carriers better wake up. And T-Mobile gets it. T-Mobile's moving in the right direction. Sprint is on the verge of getting it, and the big guys just don't seem to. I don't believe they get it yet.
Yeah. Well, do they not get it, or are they just avoiding it?
Well, they probably want to avoid it.
Yeah.
It's. I can't speak for them. It's hard to say, but Apple has busted the door down. Apple clearly, with their devices, is controlling the market, and Google at the same time is having an impact. So we'll have to see where this goes, but I think it's going to be tougher and tougher for the big carriers. Yeah.
Well, you know what we have. Let's see here. 2 minutes before we have to say goodbye to each other. What do you want to spend that 2 minutes talking about?
All right. Well, I'm just going to hit you with some real quick stuff. Massive security flaw was found on Samsung Galaxy phones, all S4s, S5s, S6s, regardless of carrier. Has something to do with the, I think they call it the Swift keyboard software, which cannot be removed. There's a patch they've made for the carriers to distribute, which I don't think has been done yet. Same problem with Apple. Not the same problem, but they have a different issue, a different vulnerability. So everybody's having problems, it seems, this week.
Well, yeah, I know that I am.
Yeah, well, I know you have new technology, and anytime you're dealing with new technology, there's always going to be glitches. So
you know what? I'm an old guy. This is challenging.
Well, if it was easy, everybody would be doing it.
Yeah, I guess it's true. So are you actually looking forward to or anticipating that in the very near future that all of the carriers are going to be offering Wi-Fi calling?
I don't see how they cannot do it. I know the big carriers want you on their network and I think have resisted. And I think they'd rather market Wi-Fi dialing. It's always great to sell something when you can, but I just don't see it. I would hope. I think eventually they're going to have to do it. I know to me it's wonderful.
So if you have Wi-Fi dialing or Wi-Fi calling, so now it doesn't make any difference where you are in the world. If you have Wi-Fi access, it's a free call for you, right?
Yes and no. If you're in France and you're calling France, it's free. If you're in France, you're calling the U.S., it's free. If you're in France, you're calling Costa Rica, they're going to charge you long-distance calling charges.
Oh.
So it's free if you're calling your home market or if you're calling the market you're in, and you can receive calls from anywhere in the world simply by the party dialing your 10-digit number, and you dial their 10-digit number. It simplifies roaming. You don't need international numbers or country codes or any of that other nonsense.
Well,
it's so stupidly brilliant that anybody who travels globally who is not with the third or fourth carrier, the two carriers offering this, is missing the boat.
Hey, Joel, give out your contact information. We've got about 20 seconds.
All righty. I can be reached at 310-400-4900. Email me at joel@drwireless.com or visit our website, www.drwireless.com. We have all of this, what we've covered, under our blog. More than happy to give anybody advice
Hey, Joel, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. You had a great segment, even though I messed you up in the middle of it. I promise you, next week it'll go a lot smoother.
I'm sure it will. Have a wonderful week.
You too.
Take care, Robert.
You too. Take care. Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful in visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make The Interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios, Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, General Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39, a complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show. And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza Live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 5:08 p.m. Pacific time. It is currently 94 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire. That's down from 102 degrees in sunny Southern California. Well, I want to make an announcement to you before we bring our own Ray Mailer in and his American Grid. I want you to know that we're very excited and proud here at Robert Cardoza Live to announce that our show is currently available 5 days live, as a matter of fact, 5 days a week, Monday through Friday on the following radio networks: Spreaker Radio, Blog Talk Radio, MyCast Live Radio, and countless terrestrial stations worldwide. Our show can be heard live on Fridays on the Roar 1776 and the 365 Live Radio networks from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific time. And an archive show can be heard on Saturday mornings from 4 a.m. to 6 a.m. Pacific time for those two networks. I want to tell you, if you get up at 4 a.m. in the morning, I'll send you a thank you card. You can also catch our show on Friday and Saturday on iHeartRadio and TiVo, if you got a TiVo box. All of our shows are broadcast on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google+, and YouTube. And you can also download our shows from the iTunes Store free of charge. We encourage you to follow us on all of these social sources. We're currently developing 2 Robert Cardoza Live apps that'll be able to be downloaded free of charge for iPhones and Android. This app will allow you to listen to any of our shows, either live or recorded 24/7 worldwide, right from your computer, your phone, your tablet, and your iPad. The easiest way to listen to our shows always is, and probably always will be, is to go to our website at robertcardozalive.com. Now, you know what? He's waiting in the wings. I can't hardly wait to get him in here. He's actually vacationing. No, he's not vacationing. He's on a convention out in San Diego. But let's bring him in here properly.
Bye, Miss American Pie. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. Them good old boys were drinking whiskey and rye and singing, "This'll be the day that I die."
And now, from the National Archives of Public Planning, located in the basement of his Long Beach Reference Library, the unappreciated but widely acknowledged expert on past, present, and future infrastructure planning, let's welcome Mr. Ray Mailer and his American Grid. Hey, Ray, welcome aboard. Welcome back here. Now, I happen to know that you are in San Diego at the Right of Way Conference, and you're actually there with a lot of people. You're going to give us some updates on the California high-speed rail, the design-build projects, how building the interstate highway system helped the United States eminent domain law evolve. I don't know if we're happy about that or not, but you're also rubbing elbows with a lot of your peers and colleagues all over the United States, Canada, South Africa, and all over the world. So welcome back, and thank you for calling us at a time that's got to be inconvenient for you.
Well, thank you, Bob. I'd hardly call it inconvenient, but I must say it's exciting, and it's exciting to report, basically live here from the conference of the International Right-of-Way Association. And I was glad you started listing some of the countries involved in our International Right-of-Way Association. Through a recent effort, the headquarters office has started opening new chapters really throughout the world. This had been for a long time kind of a U.S. and Canadian International Right-of-Way Association because there's a lot of similarity in our laws and our interests. But, we have chapters in Nigeria and South Africa and Mexico and Saudi Arabia and of course, I think at least 8 chapters in Canada.
So when you talk about the Right-of-Way Conference, are we talking about eminent domain?
We are. What we are is there's kind of a spectrum of efforts underway when the government needs to acquire land for a public project. And those always start out with some engineering work, some survey work, and appraisal work, and then definitely, and this is my area, the negotiations. And we always seek to reach a voluntary agreement to sell property for a government project. But as you know, should those negotiations prove unsuccessful, eminent domain is the tool that the government has in its toolbox to try to bring resolution to these issues. But we always try to have open negotiations, even in the litigation process. It's fairly rare these days that we try really hard to strong-arm somebody. Occasionally, of course, there are owners who adopt unreasonable positions. But usually we're able to work things out. And
so is this a lot like Big Brother?
Well, a kind, friendly Big Brother. And in as much as I'm actually a Big Brother, it's a pretty natural job. So, But one of the neat things that happened at this particular conference is we had delegations from the UK, China, Australia, and I do know the association has been very involved in Germany as well. Now, this UK group arrived with a big announcement that I don't think any of us was on any of our radars, and that was on Monday, June 15th, was the 800th anniversary of the Magna Carta. Now, you may ask, well, what does the Magna Carta have to do with right-of-way? Well, the Magna Carta, back in 1215, when the Archbishop of Canterbury sought to reconcile a big disagreement between some barons in England and King John, it included the following clause: no free man shall be stripped of his rights or possessions. Well, about 500 years later, and when we in the U.S. were crafting our Constitution, we thought to put in our Bill of Rights, as part of the almost the last thought in our Fifth Amendment, this fourth entry says, "Nor shall private property be taken for public use without just compensation." And that is the method, the fundamental thing we do when we're trying to purchase property for a public project. So we talk about trying to reach just compensation. Usually,
well, let me stop you there for just a minute, Ray, because we've got to run away for a commercial real quick. We'll be back with our own Ray Mailer, and he's talking about the Magna Carta and where we derived our ideas and our rights of way and eminent domain. Don't go away. We'll be right back with our own Ray Mailer and his American Grid. If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. Nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Leinberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchased high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you. And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're talking to our own Ray Mailer. We're talking about the Magna Carta. And you know what? I have no idea why we derived all that power from the Magna Carta, but I'm sure Ray is going to explain it to us. Aren't you, Ray?
Well, you recall the story of the founding fathers and how they were trying to set up a society much better, or a government much better than they had just finished rebelling from, and perhaps still feeling the sting of the excesses of the king. Despite the portions of the Magna Carta still being in effect back in the UK, perhaps the king was exercising a little bit more leverage on the mere colonies. So, the founding fathers were sure to put in quite a few protections for the citizens, and that's and one of them is that perhaps the government the British government might have come along and just said, we're going to take this chunk of your property so we can construct this footbridge, and by the way, this is your lucky opportunity to donate something to the king. So thank you very much. The bridge is going here. That would just not happen here in the U.S. With the Fifth Amendment and the Uniform Relocation and Real Property Acquisition Act that we have, that is our law that we follow. Should that same situation happen, we approach the property owner, and after a very thorough appraisal, we would then say, Mr. Property Owner, we need to construct a bridge here, and it's going to be, in this area with a very specific legal description, and we're going to pay you X dollars for this property, or we're offering you X dollars for it. And what do you say? Does that sound like a good price to you? And then the negotiation begins. It's not surprising. Quite a few times the property owners think it's worth more, and then we start getting into, what is the condition of your property? What plans do you have? How tangible are these plans, et cetera, et cetera. So that tends to be how the negotiations, are carried out. And the objective is, if you read between the lines in the Uniform Act, the objective is to really work with the owner to negotiate in truly good faith, get all the issues out on the table, and wherever possible to address them. They're not always financial solution is not always what's required.
Well, Ray, let me interrupt you for a second, because, and just correct me if I'm wrong, please, but I'm guessing that if we're talking about a financial situation where the two sides are in disagreement about the value, that just getting certified appraisers, you get one and they get one, and never the twain shall meet. You find out a middle of the road price there that's fair to everybody. Isn't that kind of the way it'll wind up if they disagree on the price?
Yeah, it's a little bit like that, and certainly that would represent an open market situation. One of the great challenges in in an eminent domain situation, or where eminent domain can be invoked, although we usually save that for the end if it only if it becomes necessary. The great challenge is for an open market transaction, and let's say it was a more complex one. I'm the buyer. I'll probably get an appraisal of a property I'm interested in purchasing. And I'll use that to open negotiations. And if the other owner, again, of a sophisticated property, may also get his own appraisal, and then we kind of have a battle of the appraisals and work through the various issues, in some of these very well-written appraisals. There are a lot of issues to talk about, a lot of differences. And we just work through each one. And let's say, for this particular aspect of the property, we think it's worth $10,000 of the $500,000 we've offered, but his appraiser thinks it's worth $100,000. Well, okay, let's get into the assumptions. Well, why do you think it's 100? Why do we think ours is 10? And we can't just say let's meet in the middle, because as a government purchaser, we need to be able to substantiate back to the taxpayers that what we are paying is fair and supportable.
But if we're both using qualified, certified appraisals, AIA appraisers, they're going to be pretty close. The middle isn't going to be. Matter of fact, the middle might just be the difference between $5,000 in a case like that.
Yeah, and I've seen that quite a few times, where if we have two really similarly qualified appraisers, the valuations are going to be pretty similar. And a lot of times we can negotiate those out. One of the things I like to tell property owners is when the if their appraiser makes a very solid, very valid point that our appraiser didn't recognize, and there's a big number attached to it, that actually becomes the foundation for the new value. And as a government, we're compelled to say, yep, you're right. Either we had missed that detail or we didn't know about the detail, and we validate it, and that's a really important detail. Yes, you get the extra $100,000. And that's kind of tends to be how it works. So it's a little bit different negotiation than something, an ordinary buyer and seller might do.
Well, you know what? It seems, here's the problem. I guess it's not really a problem. Here's the issue. When the government wants to exercise its power through eminent domain, I'm guessing it's because it's for the public good, and the majority of people are going to benefit by this. And so it's going to happen whether you like it or not. So then it comes down to, all right, you want to be fair to both sides. You don't want to overcharge. Everybody would love to overcharge the government, but realistically, you're not going to overcharge the federal government and get away with it. Nor do you want to be undercompensated for what the fair market value really is. How often in these cases do you run into an intractable situation where the seller just says, "I'm sorry, it's worth more than that," and they're just being unreasonable?
Yeah, in every project, we always strive for that to be a pretty small percentage, something in the 2 to 5% range. Mm-hmm. And, sometimes, we do need to commence litigation and take steps in that direction. And as you take each step in litigation, there are discovery steps that happen along the way, and there are court actions along the way. As you go through that process, each side can kind of see things in a new light, and every little step along the way, both sides reevaluate their positions. And especially on the government side, we always would prefer as amicable settlement as possible.
So, you know what? We need to go on a commercial break. When we come back, perhaps you can talk about the timing issues here, or the government just say, hey, okay, this is what I'm taking, this is what I'm giving you, and you got 30 days to get the heck out of here. Ray Mailer is going to answer that question when we come back from these commercial messages. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful in visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make The Interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios, Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39, a complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-949-8255. 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show. And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're talking to our own Ray Mailer with his American Grid. He's in San Diego at the Right of Way conference there. He's been talking to a lot of his friends. I'm sure they're friends by now. He's been in this organization for a long time, and they're talking about eminent domain. And you know, the thing that really bothers me sometimes when you start talking about eminent domain is the fact that these guys, when they're talking about it, get a smile on their face. Yep. And let me try that one more time. They get a smile on their face. All right. So anyway, Ray, you're on the air. You got the microphone.
Okay. Well, thanks, Bob. Just to be clear, we rarely have a smile on our face when we get to the point of that where an eminent domain situation might be necessary. Usually view that, or certainly I usually view that as failing in some manner. Granted there are occasional intractable situations, but I'd like to think that we tried everything.
Well, you know what, and I need to offer an apology because I didn't really mean it the way that sounded. I think what I meant, or the way I felt about it, is there are so many people out there that have an inflated idea of what their property is worth, or what they can accomplish, and they get this attitude. Let's just call it an attitude. And when I said a smile on your face, because really all the power sits back there with you. You are going to be reasonable. You're going to be fair, and it's going to come down at the end. Hey, guy, this is what it is, and there's not going to be any more negotiation from here.
Yeah, that's right. And we certainly do reach that situation, and with some regularity. One of the questions you asked just before the break had to do with timing. I think you were kind of hinting at a timing issue.
Yeah.
Because at a certain point, we the taxpayers or we the citizens said, hey, we want an extra lane on that freeway. And we don't want it a dozen years from now. We want it a year and a half from now. So government is usually trying to figure out a way how to respond best to we the citizens, who are also us. And sometimes we are also property owners. So, there's kind of this inherent conflict. In law, one of the things we try to do is to provide the greatest public good with the least private injury. So we're usually very economical about the amount of land we may be taking from somebody. But to get to the timing issue where, the government has to to respond to the citizens correctly, then you'd have the extra freeway lane added, 18 months from now. Well, what tools do we have at our disposal? A lot of times these issues do hinge on, how much are we going to pay for the property? And surprisingly, a high percentage of the time, the owners don't object to the project, and they are willing to sell the land. It really is simply a value question. So there are a couple of mechanisms available. First is the owner could allow us to go ahead and start construction, and we'll leave for later the negotiations to figure out how we're going to get the right price. Now, a lot of property owners are uncomfortable with that because certainly in an open market situation, you would never let somebody on your property until they met your price, right?
Absolutely.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Well, in eminent domain law, these two issues are split. The law allows these to be separated. So if a project has a tight time frame, like the one I just described, got to add that freeway lane within a year and a half, the agency can request from the court an order to possess the property sooner than concluding the value. And sometimes this makes owners a little bit uncomfortable, and again, because it's so different from what they would do in an open market situation. But there are quite a few protections and processes available to the owner for settling that value in court or through the court process. And that's, a lot of owners sometimes have a hard time, understanding that and accepting it. But so this still, with the ability to obtain possession of the property before we figure out how much we're going to pay for it, that does allow the government to go ahead and start construction of the project, and kind of takes the schedule pressure off of these price negotiations. Because again, just because there's in an open market situation, if there were a tight schedule, if I was the buyer and I needed to get it done in a year and a half, I might start paying more and more and more for the property. But in the case of the government, which has eminent domain law available to it, that could get very price prohibitive on something that is not for private gain, but is for the public good. So we want, I think we, the citizens, really want the government to be able to have this power judiciously used, so we've got to be careful not to overuse it, so that a project for the greater public good can happen. And then we'll just leave for a later time how much we're going to pay for the property. Private property owners can bring in their expert witnesses to testify to the value of the property, and as well as there's a whole other appraisal effort that can be performed. So it's very thorough, and the law does exert a lot of deference to the property owner.
Let me ask you this, Ray. In general, is there, how often does government implement eminent domain? Is it every day something is happening, once a month something happening, or is it 100 times a year? Any idea?
Yeah, for any given agency, it really depends. Transportation agencies have had a lot of transportation funding in really the past 20 or so years. So there have been, quite a few property acquisitions associated with freeway widenings, new bridges, new freeways, new rail lines, all kinds of transportation infrastructure. So they've been going through a lot of negotiations, and then again, a small percentage need to go to an eminent domain litigation.
Well, Ray, unfortunately, my friend, guess what time it is?
Are we out of time?
We are out of time. I hate this new system because I don't get to warn you. I'm going to I just have to pretend that I'm 20 years younger and figure out a way around this thing. Okay.
Well, then next week I'll have more material. I'll have a little bit of update on the high-speed rail that I learned here at the conference. And I look forward to being able to tell the listeners all about it.
Well, that's fantastic. And at the same time, you can explain to me how it is that you thought I would be so conversant with all the particulars of the Magna Carta, which was a long, long time ago.
Well, Bob, I know you're a little bit older than me. I thought you might... Weren't you around?
Well, you know what? I feel like I have been. I used to. I saw this cartoon the other day. It was Snap, Crackle, and Pop. I remember when that used to be a cereal. Now that's how I sound when I get out of bed in the morning. Hey, Ray, have a great week. Give that lovely wife of yours a hug and a kiss from me, and I'll talk to you next week.
Very good.
Have a great seminar, and stay safe.
Thank you, Bob.
Okay. If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. Nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, you know Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchased high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you. And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 5:41 p.m. Pacific time. It is currently, thank goodness, is down to 92 degrees. That's down from 104 degrees on its way to 63 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. Well, you know what today is, right? You got it. It's somebody's birthday. And you know what? This fellow was born in 1943. He's an American politician and author who served as the Speaker of the United States House of Representatives from 1995 to 1999. Happy birthday to Newt Gingrich. Hey, and here's a guy that everybody knows, born in 1943 also, an American singer-songwriter with his hits such as Mandy and Copacabana. Happy birthday, Barry Manilow. And then finally, here's a gal that's still swinging. She's born in 1980, an American tennis player and older sister of Serena Williams. Happy birthday to Venus Williams, absolutely. And you know what? Let's talk about today in history. Well, you know what? Today in 1885, the Statue of Liberty arrives in New York Harbor. And on today in 1972, Watergate scandal. 5 White House operatives are arrested for burglarizing the offices of the Democratic National Committee. That happened on June 17, 1972. And in 1994, following a televised low-speed highway chase and a failed attempt at suicide, O.J. Simpson is arrested for the murders of his wife, Nicole Brown Simpson, and her friend, Ronald Goldman. Well, you know what? Our quote for today comes from James Branch Cabell, and he writes, "The optimist proclaims that we live in the best of all possible worlds, and the pessimist fears that this is the truth." Go figure. That makes all the sense in the world if you think about it, right? Well, you know what? I think it's time for us to talk about the secret daily teaching for your life. And you know what? This is one of those areas where I tell you it requires a positive mental attitude. You know what? Your mental attitude really does control your life and the life of the people that you touch around you. So make this yours. Live it, breathe it, walk it, talk it. It'll make your life better, I promise you. Today's teaching, if I opened my bills before convincing myself that they were checks, my stomach would churn when I opened them. I knew that the emotion of the churning in my stomach was powerfully bringing more bills. I knew I had to erase that feeling and replace it with joyful feelings so I could bring more money into my life. In the face of a pile of bills, that game worked for me, and it changed my life. There are so many games that you can create, and you'll know what works best for you by the way that you feel inside. When you make believe, the results come fast. I'm telling you, this works. This really works. You want to try it. You want to do it. It is really, really important to you. You'll be glad that you did this. I promise you. Just do it. It's what you got to do. It's what you got to do. Yeah. Now, you know what? It's time for that Harvard business tip of the day. And the management tip today is ask remote teams to create daily goals. Let me tell you about it. You know, more organizations are starting to adopt a remote work culture, but how do managers stay in sync with what their teams are doing when they can't see them? While it's important to define clear goals early on, you should let remote teams decide on the best paths to reach those goals. Rather than dictating each specific task, give them a vision to work on. Let them hold each other accountable and ask them to assign themselves daily goals and provide weekly reports. This level of responsibility helps remote workers learn on the job and stay motivated. But you should still hold specific people accountable for ensuring that tasks are completed on time. To track progress, use project management tools like Asana, Basecamp, or Jira, and take time every week to have a candid conversation about the team's performance. You'll be glad you did that. I promise you, you will be glad you did that. Well, you know what? It's time for our interesting but useless facts. This is an area that I get more and more thrilled with all the time, and you will be too. Let's talk about it. Did you know that bibliomancy is the practice by some people of opening the Bible at random and being guided for the day by whatever verse they see first? There's a scary thought. Maybe, I think. How about this? Did you know that in 1910, a football team was penalized 15 yards for an uncompleted forward pass? That would be interesting in today's world, wouldn't it? I would say so. You know, I mean, if you think about it, it'd be really, really interesting. How about this? Crocodile babies don't have sex chromosomes. The temperature at which the egg develops determines their gender. There's one for you. That'll keep you wondering what's going on in the world today. If nothing else does, I'm thinking. You know, that's really the way that it's going to work. All right, so listen, let's do some more here. Did you know the calories burned daily by sled dogs running in Alaska's annual Iditarod race average about 10,000 calories a day? Man, I wish I could burn 10,000 calories a day and not eat 20,000. That's kind of what goes on. How about this? Worcestershire sauce is basically an anchovy ketchup. Well, I don't know if that's true or not, but I know that I use Worcestershire sauce in a lot of recipes. I love to cook, and I use it in a lot of recipes, and it wouldn't be the same or as good without it. Here's one. An average head has between 100,000 and 150,000 hairs. Now, I can tell you, my head is not average. I've got much less than that. I can tell you that right now. How about this one? You know, in one day, a full-grown redwood tree expels more than 2 tons of water through its leaves. Wow. That's interesting. And then let me leave you with this one. The first country to abolish capital punishment was Austria in 1787. Good for them. Now, don't go away. When we come back, I'm going to answer your emails is what I'm going to talk about. And the very first one is coming from Tyler Din from Warwick, Rhode Island, asking about being a head of household. I'll be right back after these brief messages. Don't go away. Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful in visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make The Interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios, Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39, a complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show. And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza Live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. And you know what? It's time for us to be answering your emails. I want to remind you that while we try to do the best job we can and give you a thorough answer, you should always contact a licensed professional in your area. They're going to interview you and gather the necessary data to make sure that you have all the information that's necessary to get a good, valid answer. And the nice thing is that they're insured with errors and omissions insurance. One of the requirements of their licensing, and that means that they give you a bad answer that costs money, they pay it, not you. Now, my first email today comes from Tyler Din from Warwick, Rhode Island. He's asking about head of household, and he says, my wife moved out last year, leaving me with the children, but we haven't divorced. She refuses to file a joint return with me. Since I provided a home to our children, can I file my return as a head of household to get a lower tax rate than I would by filing as married, filing separately? Well, Tyler, if your wife left your home during the first half of the year, then the answer is yes. According to the IRS, you also qualify for head of household status if you, though married, file a separate return. Your spouse was not a member of your household during the last 6 months of the tax year, and you provided a qualifying child more than half the cost of maintaining as your home a household that was the main home or more than for more than one half of your tax year. Now, for more information on this, go to IRS Publication 501. That's exemptions, standard deductions, and filing information for the detailed rules on this. You'll be glad you did that. Next email comes from Daryl Fleming from Cary, North Carolina, asking about Roth IRA pros and cons, and says, our mother lives on Social Security and money from an IRA and is in a low tax bracket. Now, we children disagree about whether she should convert her IRA to a Roth IRA. What do you think? Well, here's the deal. I have too few facts about your family situation to know for sure, but in general, if your mother expects to consume her IRA, she may be best leaving it as is since she pays little tax on it anyhow. Now, on a conversion to a Roth IRA, her current IRA balance will be taxable and may pile up into a higher tax bracket than she would otherwise ever have to pay. However, if she wants to leave her IRA funds to her heirs, a conversion might make sense. She would pay a modest tax because she's in that lower tax bracket on the conversion, but make the Roth IRA funds absolutely tax-free to her heirs who may be in a much higher tax bracket. Now, the Roth IRA's lack of minimum annual distributions during her lifetime might also allow her to have more IRA funds to the heirs. Consult an expert about the details of your situation. Just like I said, they're going to get all the data that's necessary to give you a good comprehensive answer. My last email today comes from Isha French from Spartanburg, South Carolina, asking about Social Security benefits and says, is it true that Social Security benefits are taxed only when you take them before age 65? Well, the answer to your question, Nisha, is no. But Social Security benefits may be reduced when you take them before your normal retirement age if you have earned income. Now, this may seem like a tax, but it isn't. It's just part of the benefits formula. When you reach normal retirement age, this earned income reduction actually stops. And the normal retirement age, by the way, is now 67 years old. Now, for example, if you're receiving Social Security benefits and will not reach your normal retirement age this year, Social Security will withhold $1 of benefits for every $2 that you earn over $13,560. Regardless of your age, part of your Social Security benefits may be subject to income tax. Up to 50% of benefits are taxable when adjusted gross income, or AGI, plus 1/2 of the Social Security benefits, plus all of your tax-free interest exceeds $25,000 on a single return or $32,000 on a joint return, and up to 85% may be taxed if AGI exceeds $34,000 if you're single and $44,000 if you're joint. That's 34 and 44. Now, take note, normal retirement age varies with the year of birth. So for details, visit your Social Security Administration's Social Security online at their website at www.ssa.gov. And you'll be glad that you did that. I promise you'll be glad you did that. I want to remind you one more time to always, always, always seek the advice of a licensed professional. They're going to make sure that they're getting all the information so they can give you a comprehensive, honest answer that'll keep you safe, keep you from looking over your shoulder, let you sleep at night. And again, if they make a mistake, they're responsible for it. That's what errors and omissions insurance is all about, and that's a requirement of their licensing. Good deal, folks. Always do that. Now, I want to thank you for listening to Robert Cardoza Live at the intersection of business and politics. Robert Cardoza Live broadcasts on Spreaker Radio, Blog Talk Radio, MyCast Live Radio, and countless terrestrial stations worldwide every Monday through Friday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific Time. I also broadcast on Roar, 1776 Radio, and 365 Live Radio every Friday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific Time. Please follow me on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google+, and YouTube, where you can listen to all of my shows 24/7. Go to my website at www.robertcardozalive.com and email me at robertcardozalive@gmail.com. On my next show, my expert contributor is going to be John Matthews with his series, The Conservative Syndicate. My special guest is Sean LaFave talking healthcare on his series geared for wellness. I encourage you to tell all of your friends about my show here on the RLC Broadcasting Network.
That's our show for today. Beginning today, treat everyone you meet as if they were going to be dead by midnight. Extend them all the care, kindness, and understanding that you can muster. Your life will never be the same again. So many of our dreams at first seem impossible, then they seem improbable, and then, when we summon the will, they soon become inevitable. You know, the real secret of happiness is to make others believe that they're the cause of it. Robert Cardoza Live is brought to you by blogtalkradio.com every Monday through Friday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific Time. Now, go out and make it a great day. Your host has been Robert Cardoza, the technical advisor, Matchstick Digital, and your executive producer, also Robert Cardoza.
Okay, everybody, that's a wrap. I hope you enjoyed today's show as much as I enjoyed producing it for you. Don't forget to join me here again tomorrow at 4 p.m. Pacific Time for another installment of Robert Cardoza Live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. And in the meantime, stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, and you know what? Good night, everybody.